So in this video, we're going to be taking a different approach. All right. Usually what I do is I show you what we're going to be working on and we work on it. But in this video, I want us to look at it from a perspective of what happens on a day-to-day basis. Okay. Now, if you work in a firm or you're a freelancer, when you get a project that you want to work on, it is usually a client telling you, this is what I want for you to do for me in this space, and this is what I have in mind. Then they will share a mood image for you. If you work in a firm, it is going to be probably a creative director, the designer himself, or even you. Even when you are working on a project and you are given all the range to do whatever you want, okay, it is always advisable for you to get like an inspiration, a mood image, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now sometimes clients will also tell you that, okay, this image that I gave you, I want you to give me exactly what is inside there. Okay, I like these chairs, I like the furniture, I like the models, I like whatever it is that is inside the picture, and they'll be like, get it for me. And now, most of the times, you might know one or two, furnitures there, okay, based on your previous experiences. But most of the time, you find out that you do not really know all of them. So in this video, we are going to look at how to navigate such issues, okay? When you get the model, how to be able to tell what is inside that, image, the mood image, so that you can be able to find them in the model stores or model them, when you can find the details. But this video is for beginners, so I assume that all of us here, we don't know how to model like very, very, very complicated stuff like furnitures, like chairs and all those things. So for the purpose of what we are doing today, I like to share this image with you. This is what we're going to be working on. Okay. And this, I saw it, I was going through Instagram. Okay. And I saw an interview, that Nancy Isime. Okay. Shout out to Nancy if you're watching this. But then I saw an interview by Nancy where he was interviewing this other woman. The woman has, I think, a fashion business that she started, a clothing line, 10 years ago. So they are celebrating a decade, over past decade. Okay, Fuga is the one in Fuga at 10. That is what the interview is. So as I was watching this interview, I actually saw the space they were in and I liked it. So this is what client might do. Client might be watching an interview or whatever, going through the internet, Pinterest, whatever, maybe went to his or her friend's, office or home, and they see what they like. They took a picture of it and they bring it to you. Now with this picture, we are going to find the models in this picture. Okay, we are going to find, and the ones we can't find, we'll find something that's very, very, really close. And then we're going to be modeling this interior that they are in. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So how do I use the image to find this, okay, the models? So I'm going to show you what I do. This is what I do. I don't know, maybe somebody else somewhere has a better way of doing it. But what I do is I open Google and I drag the image into Google. Okay, that's the first step. Let me make this big. I drag the image into Google, and then when you come over here and click, you see Google Lens. Now I don't know this table. I want to get the table. Okay, I'll click on Google Lens, and then you come over here and you circle what you want. When you do that, you are going to see the table coming out over here. All right. So if I say, okay, let me select this one, you see Boss Coffee Table 3. Now I want to know who made this table so I can easily find them. You see, KOS Studio. I'll say, okay, let me go to my favorite. I will now say, okay, let me go to my favorite model vendor to see if they have it there. So, Boss Coffee Table by KOS. You can even see the name here, Boss Coffee Table by KOS. Okay? Others are here, but they are not like giving me the name. But when you look here, when you look through all these things here, you will find the one that gives you what you're looking for. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type Boss Table. See the table over here. It's all over. You can see, I think what we are having here is close to, the table that we're having in there. We already got that one. So either with this or that one, let me just select this one. Okay, or you can easily model this thing. It's just 3 balls on the ground with this flat stuff on top. It is very simple to model. If you want, I might even show you how to, but let me know in the comment section if you want us to model this table. But all in all, it's a very simple table to model. Now, that is not the only thing in that image. Now we need to get the chair that they are sitting down in. Okay. I don't want it to be the. Okay. Now, because it cannot see this chair completely, it is trying to make suggestions to us as to what it is that what they think it is. So now I have to scroll through this to find. Let me even take it up a little bit. Let me try this one. You can see that this thing is even trying to get you the fabrics that Nancy is wearing. Okay, because of the level of the part of the chair that is showing is probably not enough to give us the information that we are looking for. Okay, you can see we have that seat here, but the one they are sitting on is a bit different. So you can look at it here. That's something like that. But hold on a minute, let's see if we can find exactly the one we're looking for, because the one I'm looking for exactly, look at it here. Look at it there. Something like this is what they're sitting on. Okay. You can see now that I clicked on that one, a lot of suggestions are now out for that particular seat. So I can just use my middle mouse button, click on any image here to go and take a look at it and see if I'm going to find. Yeah. So you are now going to see this thing. That is the name. So I'm just going to copy it, use my middle mouse button, click on this 3D sky. It's going to open another tab for me over here. So I'm going to search for the chair. Nothing came out. Start with Ratan. Okay, this thing till you see something. Look at this, is very close to what I'm looking for. Okay, even though from the image, I don't know. We can't see nothing there, but you can see that we found something close. Okay, let me see. Let me just select that one. Okay, you even see that this dining is something like that, but that is not what we're looking for. Let me click on this one. Maybe it is going to bring me to something that looks like. Okay, now this is something. This is it. Okay, Hips and Harris wood. Okay, so now we found the major component of this scene. Okay, this and that, and then the wall. We're going to be creating all that, but the ones we need to download is this furniture and this. As far as I'm concerned, anything can be on this table. You see these decorative elements on this table, it can be anything. It doesn't really matter. Okay, in my opinion though, if it matters, I'm sure when you go through this place, you are going to find a very nice decorative element. You can just search decorative like so. Okay, you will see things like this. If you stay here long enough looking for exactly that, I'm sure you're going to find something that looks exactly like that, and just take it out and keep it on top of that table. Okay, I don't suggest you model that. It is or even waste time looking for exactly that. Is like measuring in minor, because whatever is on that table, so far it looks like that it has the texture, it is going to still do the same thing. All right, so let's now that we've successfully found the model, it is time for us to actually go into modeling the scene. I wasn't there. The only thing, let me even bring out that stuff again. The only thing I have to walk by is lights and shadows. Okay, you can see that we'll have a window here, but then it seems to me that there's a light coming from here. Now it can be a studio light. I do not know. I don't know what's going on there, but you can find out. You also find out that this side is also not that dark. Let me remove this. Let me remove the stuff so that we'll take a good look at this image. You find out that this image generally is not that dark. Now, I don't know how they lit the scene, but what I know is, well, I think light is coming from. Okay, so light is coming from this side. Okay, light is coming from this side. Light is also coming from this side, because in as much as it is not that clear, it is also not dark. So there is some sort of light filtering in from that side, and obviously you can see a window right in front of us here. So light is coming from here and here and here. So that is what I've tried to represent here. The light that is coming from here is going to come in from this window. We have window here that we can see, and then when I was trying to prepare this scene, mind you, I already did this thing before. I did it before, so I actually know what I'm talking about in this video. So when I was preparing for this video, I was testing to see what is going to give me a close, look to what I'm seeing in that particular image. And then this is what I ended up getting. So I'm going to show you how to model this scene, because I'm going to also attach this file in the description for you so you can follow along in this video. This particular one is absolutely free of charge. And also I will be putting the links in the description for every single models that we found here, so that you don't have to go through the hoops I went through to find them. But I'm just saying, in case you have your own personal project, and I didn't make a video about it, obviously, you need to be able to get your own models. And even when you don't know the name of those models, that is how you do it. That is how I do it. And if it works for you, if it works for me, probably it's going to work for you. Okay, so let's get back to the video. I'm going to put this file in the description, and also I'm going to make my finished file available for you to be able to download, but it's going to come at a cost. Okay, so don't worry, it's minute, it's nothing you can handle. So let's start modeling. Now there are some rituals I perform before I start modeling. Okay, so I will just for you before, but if you're importing, because I'm going to give you this file as a 3ds mass file. So when you open it, just stick to the units that I use. Okay, I work in millimeters. It's not so bad. Okay, in this part of the world, that's what we use. We use metric, and we work in the lowest form of metric, which is the millimeter. Okay, if there's anything lower than that, I'm not aware of it. It's a millimeter. I work in millimeters, centimeters, and meters. But for interior spaces, I prefer to work in millimeters. All right, so in case you just want to wing it, you don't want to use the project file, this is how you customize your units. You go over to customize, you come down to unit setup, then you see metric here. I use metric, so you keep it in metric. You can select meters, kilometers, centimeters, but millimeter is what I work with. Like I said, you open this inside one, the system unit setup, okay, and then you change it here to millimeters. And that's it. You close it and you come out. Now I've imported the file. When you open the file that I will put in the description, this is what you'll be seeing as well. So let's go ahead and start modeling. Now there are several ways I can do this. Okay, I can use box or I can use plane, but for the purpose of what we are doing, let's use plane. Okay, it is just what I want to use. It's not a better way or a bad way. It is not. Let's talk about something. Let me put this thing in 3D snap. Okay. I'm going to make a video where I explain to you exactly how this snap toggle works. Okay, but for now, just stay with me. Now, snap toggle is very important when you're modeling in 3ds Max. When you're modeling in any software, period. But for the purpose of what we are doing, 3ds Max is what we're working in. So it is very important when you are working in 3ds Max. Okay, so all you have to do for me right now is turn it on. Then when you turn it on, if you are new to this, that means you have not set up your snap toggle. I'm going to show you the important snap toggle you need to set. All right, so right click on it with your right click button in your mouse. Okay, usually I work with this, and this, but I can't work with this vertex and midpoint. Okay, so check on these 4 and then uncheck everything else. Now we're going to go into setting. There is something very important that you need to turn on. If not, you'll find it very difficult to snap to elements. This enable axis constraint. When we talk about snap toggles and the grid and snap settings, we're going to get into this in detail. But for now, just turn it on. All right, I'll let you know when I make the video. You're going to get notification, which is why if you haven't already done so, subscribe to this channel and then turn on notification. Don't just subscribe, you turn on notification so you get notified each time I drop an important content like this. Okay, so subscribe if you haven't done so. I mean, if you have watched up to this point in this video, you might as well subscribe. All right, let's start. Now this snap toggle, the shortcut is S. When I hit S on my keyboard, okay, when I hit S on my keyboard, it is going to toggle it on and off. All right, as we go on in this video, there are other snaps that we're going to talk about, but for now, let's just work with the one that we need. So S on your keyboard turns on your snap toggle, and then I'm going to draw this plane like this so it snaps to this. Okay, don't just draw it. Later we are going to adjust everything. Now I want you to come over here to these parameters. Okay, we're going to remove this length segment by making it 1, and then the width segment 1, so we have a plane. Okay, so what I did there. So I'm going to right click this and I'm going to convert it to what? Editable poly, so we can work with it, so we can edit it anyhow I want. Then I'm going to come over here in the selection and I'm going to select edge. Now either I do it that way or I use the numbers on top of the keyboard, like numbers on top of the alpha keys. All right, so if I hit 1, it is going to, just keep your eyes on this place. If I hit 1 on my keyboard, it is going to switch to the vertex. If I hit 2, it will go to edge, border, polygon, and element. Okay, so what we need to be working on at this moment is the edges, which is this one or 2. When you hit 2 on your keyboard, it is going to get into the edge mode without you having to bother yourself too much. All right, so let's get modeling. Now I'm going to snap this to this my guide. Now I'm going to select this and I'm going to hold down shift. Okay, when you hold down shift, you are going to create a new polygon out of the old one. You see what I did there? Hold down shift and you drag it. It created a new polygon. Why I say it created a new polygon is because, let me just isolate this for a bit. You will notice this edge over here. Okay, this is where we were at before, and when I did that, it dragged out a new polygon for us. And that is how we're going to do it till we get all the segments in this scene. So let me come back. Hit Z on your keyboard to centralize it to where you are. Okay, when you mistakenly get lost in your scene, when I hit the top button and I don't know where I am, all I have to do is hit the Z button on your keyboard. It is going to bring you to where you are working. Now, when you have a lot of objects, far apart to each other, okay, it might take you somewhere that is a middle ground between the two objects. So if you want to get to a particular object, just select that object and hit Z. It is going to centralize that object, as you can see now, in the middle of your screen. Okay, so I want to continue this work. So I'm going to hit 2 on the keyboard. It is going to put me in the edge mode, like we have already talked about before. So I'm going to hold down shift, drag it to this place. So I will continue doing this. So, but when I get to this place, I don't just drag it to the end because I want to continue like this. What I will do is I will drag it to this point and then drag it to this ending point. Select this one and then continue moving down. Okay. All right. So when I finish doing this, the next thing I want to do is weld the element. Okay. I'm going to select this. You see weld over there. Just click on it. It's going to weld it for you. Or you can just do it like this. Increase the parameter. Just give it a 3 and then say good. the same thing over here. Okay, what this does for you is it gets rid of the extra vertices that you don't need. So everything is one single, you know. So now that I've done this, I'm going to come over to the modify tab and apply a shell modifier. If you don't have this button, there is a video I've done to show you how to create this button to make your life easier, where you put the actual buttons that you use from day to day. Okay, so you just come, like if I come here now, I'm just going to click on it and it's going to come out. Okay, if I click on it, you can see it's out. Then I can add my inner or outer amount. Let me just add 2000 here. See, that's what I'm talking about. But if you don't have this, however, if you don't have this, just click on the modifier list and type shell. Okay, and it's out. That's what I'm talking about. It's out. Okay, so that is what we need to do. We need to add shell to what we are doing. But then, when I do that, you'll notice that we have this black stuff happening over here. And we don't want that. And it's important that when you're modeling in 3ds Max that your geometries are right. So how do we do that? How do we make sure that it is right? I'm going to select this and press 4 on my keyboard. Okay. Now, there is an issue because if you have a modifier on top of your editable poly, it is not going to be allowing you to do the shortcut of pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it won't let you do that till you select everything and convert them to editable poly. And frankly, I don't really need this shell to do much. All I need it to do is to solidify this thing for me, and we are going to take it off from there. Now, right click, convert this to editable poly. Okay, yes, I've done that now. Let's go on and do other things. I'm going to select, I don't know why this is creating this additional polygon for me on that side, but we're going to tackle it. Okay, I'm going to select this and then select that, and I'm going to delete both of them. Okay, that extra polygon is unnecessary for me. Okay, good. I'm going to delete this one. Select that one, also delete it. All right, this is not supposed to happen, but since it has happened, we are going to deal with it. Okay, so we have deleted that inner one. We are going to just go ahead, select them, you know, and delete all of them. So I'm just going to use border to select this entire, okay, the third one, border. Okay, when I select it, you will be able to select the entire border all at once. So I'll put it in plan mode, hit T and then hit Z to centralize it. Holding down shift, I'll just drag it to that point and then just snap it to there. Okay, now we don't have anything like that. Now I'm just going to select all the polygons in case you are still seeing any of the black artifacts that we wanted to clear before we found out that we had issues with our polys. So you just come over here and then clear all. When you clear all, that black stuff is definitely going to go away. Now that we are done cleaning and making sure that our geometries and everything is fine, now it's time for us to model the section of the building. All right, so I'm going to hit 1 on my keyboard and then F3 to put it in wireframe override. So I'm going to select all the vertices at the top and I'm going to drag them down to snap here. Okay, now that I've done that, I need to make duplicate of this poly to snap here and then to the top of this building. So how do I do that? I'll go and switch this thing. Let me first of all put it in default shading so that we're seeing what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to select this and then select polygons. I need to select the entire top polygons. I'm going to turn off the snap toggle for a while. Now, I don't want to select everything one by one. I want to be able to click once and select everything all together. Okay, call me lazy or whatever you want, but I'm trying to save time here. So I'm going to click by angle, leave the 45 the way it is. So if I click here, you see that everything gets selected. So I'm just going to put it in this view mode, in the front view. Okay, put it in the front view rather, and I'm going to drag it. Let me add S to turn on my snap toggle. Then I'll snap here, and then there, and then here. Okay, now we have our, that's right. So when I open that image again, you find out that the window we have here, the window we have there is an arched window. So in this video, we are going to be creating arched windows. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to do that. So these are the window opening is this first, this one is the window opening. Okay, so if you hit F4, it is going to remove it, and if you hit F2, it is going to stop this blue highlight thing that is going on. So I don't really need it right now, so I'm going to hit the F2, so it just highlights the edge of the model for me, that I'm selecting. So I'm just going to leave it that way for now. Okay, and then I want to create the floor and then the ceiling, and then we can now create the windows. Okay, so because those are easier things to do, right? For the purpose of what we are doing today, we are going to be using map for our floor. We're not going to be using floor generator, because maps are also good. You can also use maps. There are some good videos I've done here where I showed you how you can use map to get something very, very realistic. But for the purpose of this video, okay, the purpose is to show you how you can get these models. I've done that, and also to create that scene, to see that it works. That's what we're trying to do now. So I'm just going to come over here and then draw a plane, just like this. Okay, that one is at the top. That is the same thing we need for the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to hold Shift, or I'm just going to press Ctrl V on my keyboard and make it a copy, and then drag this one down to the bottom. Then with the plane, as you can see, it is still selected. I'm going to come over here and apply a shell modifier to it. This time around, I'm going to add 0 to the outer amount and then put 150 to the inner amount. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to bring this particular one down to this point, because that is where the ceiling is supposed to be. Bring it out to that particular point, and then add another shell modifier to it. This time around, I'm going to take it off here. Okay, I'm going to Ctrl C here, put 0. Ctrl V over here, put 150. Okay, and that is it for now. If we need to make any modifications to this, we're going to make modifications to them. But for now, this is what it is. All right, so I've done this and I've done the other one. So I'm going to select this now. Okay, and I'm going to go to Object Properties, Display as what? As a box, so I can be seen through and be able to select things inside this space as if the ceiling is not there, but it's actually there. So I'm going to select this, select Object 2, and I'm going to put it in vertex mode. I want to be able to select this. Okay, let me keep it this way so I don't make mistake. And then select both vertices. Put it in this view because this is where I'm going to be working in. All right, so where do we go from here? I'm just going to come down here and put it in chamfer mode. Okay, and then I'm going to increase it. Let me keep it here so you'll be seeing what I'm doing very well. Increase it. Now, when I increase this part, you see that you will see that the arch becomes smoother. All right, so I will just increase it further to see what I can be able to get, the maximum of what I'm going to be able to get. And then over here, I need this arch to be very smooth, so I'm going to just keep smoothing it till I get what I want. Now I will say yes, I have what I want now, and I'm going to leave it at that. So you can see that we have an arch. And the truth is, we do not need to go through this tedious, tedious means for all others because we are not seeing them. All we need to make sure is that those places are open to letting light. Okay? The only one that we are obligated to do this stuff for is the one that we are seeing. So me personally, I don't need to do it. So I'm not going, but if we need to do it, you have already seen how it is done. Okay? You can now go ahead and do it for the other ones. You select it. Let me do one more so you get it right now. Okay, you select this one. And then this has a memory. If I click this now, it is going to recreate what I've done before without even me having to do it again. So it's really not an issue for me. Okay, so I'll just click good if I want it or click, bad if I don't want it. So let me just leave it at that. Okay, and then I will show you how to create a window out of this and how to do and how we can now from there go on to other things. So I've selected it. I want to create an opening from here. So what I'm going to do is select, now the reason why everything is selected, you can see if I'm trying to select one of the polygon, everything we selected is because this biangle that we checked on when we want to select the entire top is still there. So we need to uncheck it. All right, let's uncheck it. Now, when I come over here and select here, you can see it's selected. So now I want to duplicate this thing for myself and keep one side so I can use it later to create my window. But then I also need to cut an opening there so that light can actually, the way window works now, you have an opening and then you put a window in that opening. So that's what I want to do. So I'm just going to come down here. So I'm going to click on detach and I'm going to detach as a clone. Sorry. I'm going to detach as a clone. Okay. And I'm going to call it arch window for now. I know it doesn't make sense for now. Just follow me. You're going to find out why I called it arch window later on. Arch window, and I'm going to say okay. Now I'm going to select this and then I'm going to select this. So you come to where we have bridge. Bridge is how we merge them. So I'm going to click on bridge and it's going to merge it for me. Now we have an opening there. So if I select this, that's the one I created, the one I called arch window. Okay, we created it as a clone, so it cloned it for us and kept it in place. And then we selected the two original ones and used the bridge tool to merge the thing to create an opening. I don't know if that is clear. If it is not clear, please use the comment section. Ask me questions and I will do my best to, make it clear to you. Okay, so let me keep going. All right, now I am going to. Now, before I do what I want to do, I really need to talk to you about something. Now, this is what I'm selecting, but this is where the pivot is. This is where the gizmo is. Okay, so how do I get the pivot to be where the object is? It is very simple. It is very simple. It's either I use all these two. This tool here is actually called the snap working pivot tools. All right, so I can just select this and click this element. Hold on a minute. Okay, it is going to bring it to there. I don't even know. Is there a way to undo? Okay, maybe something like that. Let me select this thing again. It is going to bring it to the middle, but the shortest way that you can do it and not be confused is select the object, go over here to the hierarchy, affect pivot only, center to object. That will bring it to the object, to the middle of the object. So you come out of there and then we keep working. So I'm going to hit F3 on my keyboard to get it to wireframe override mode. So I'm now going to get this to somewhere around here. Okay, that is not the middle, but it is close to the middle. Now I need to create windows with this. Very simple window. I'm not going to go into details. Okay, I'm just going to create the window frame and then create the glass part of the window so we can apply materials to them and then get this work out of the way. So the edge is what I need to select. Okay, I'm going to select these inner ones, the straight ones, and I'm going to connect them. Now, when I do that, I need them to, let me open this image again. You see where it is. It is just a little bit below where the arch started, or maybe at the exact point, but from the perspective angle that I'm looking at it from, it's a little bit below where the thing started from. So I'm going to just move this thing till I get to this place. And that's it. That's the design on that window, I think. Yes, that's what I can see. Okay. So when I do this now, I can now come again, 2 on the keyboard, select all the arch now, and then create shape from selection. I want to create a shape that I'm going to now use for my the window mullions. Okay, so I'm going to put it in linear so it creates the shape for me just like it is in a straight line without trying to curve it for me. So I don't want that. I want this thing to be exactly the way it is. So I'm going to click linear. Okay, so when I click linear, I'm going to say okay. All right. Now you can see this is the frame. If I want to create a frame from this very easily now, all I have to do is apply a sweep modifier to it. Just like this. Okay. Now I'm going to just change it to a bar. Now the reason why this sweep modifier is very important is it enables you to choose where you want this thing to be at. Now I want them to be inwards. Okay. And then we're going to deal with this later. But for now, let's just focus on getting it to be on the inwards part. I want them to be inward, not on this outside part. So in the settings, you come down here, you're going to see these things. Okay. So when you select it, it is going to make some changes for you. All right. The element that we used to create this thing is, now you can see where the mullions are, which is exactly why using the sweep tool is very, very important and nice. So I'm going to just make this thing 25 millimeters. Okay. 25 millimeters is fine. This one as well, 25 millimeters. That's the thickness of things. Make it 25 millimeters as well. I think it's not looking very bad. I think it's okay. So now that we've done this, I'm just going to apply an edit poly modifier on it so that I can just make some adjustment that needs to be made. Okay, so I will just select this, get rid of it. Okay. Now I have a problem. See if we can do something about that. So we have joined it together now, as you can see. Everything is okay. Yeah, so the other thing I want to do is select this element here and move it to the center. I don't want it to be in front like that. It's looking awkward. So F3 to put it in the mode I want it to be in, which is the wireframe mode, and then drag it in. I want to snap to this surface. Oh no. Exactly. So that is it. Now for this, I want this to also be in the middle of the window, like that. And I want to add thickness to it, which is why I'm going to use shell, and I'm going to make it like 5 millimeter. That's what glass usually is. So I'm just going to bring it to the middle a bit more, and there we have it. Now for the rest of the openings, we're not going to spend time like this doing the windows because we're not even seeing them. So I'm just going to select them like so. Okay. And when I select, I bridge. Hold on a minute. Okay, this is it over here. This is the one. Another way I can do this is just to select it using the move tool and then using this swift. Okay, holding down shift and pushing it out. Let me just show you. When you hold down shift, you push it towards the, in this case, y-axis, as you can see. I'm going to put it in default shading mode so that I can see that we have openings all over the place. That means we have successfully created our scene. Now it is time for us to start the rendering process proper. This is where we set our cameras, where we bring in the model assets, where we set up our lightings and all that and all that. Now, like I said, I've done this before, so I'm just going to open where I did it and then bring in the model. But for beginners now, I'm going to show you how to bring in models in case you have no idea of how to do that. All right, so I have opened it. So I'm going to use this armchair, the Akiko armchair. Let's say I want to use this armchair in my scene. Let me minimize this particular one. This is where we're working. So you get like this particular tutorial. Now we are working with Corona. Now you just get the 3ds Max file, the one that is Corona. All you have to do is drag it into this scene. And because you want to use this file inside this scene, you don't want to open the file separately, because when you select this open file, it is going to close this particular one and open it. But then it's going to ask whether you want to save it or not. Okay. Then the merge file is going to merge this file into this scene, which is the one we are going to be doing mostly all the time. But then there's another option of X-ray file, which is going to bring in like a point cloud model or a reference model into this place that is going to be very light. Okay. And then this is going to now be linking to this model where it is in your file. Okay. It's going to link into it, but for the purpose of what we are doing, this is actually a very small scene. Okay, I don't know the kind of system you are using, the type of PC you're using, but if it is not okay that much heavy or powerful, you can go for this. But me personally, I'll be going for the merge file. All right, so when you click on merge file, it is going to come in. You see the way it came in. You now select the one you want. Now you can use these 3 tools here to move them. You know, these are the translation tool. You use it to move, rotate, and scale. Okay. So the shortcuts are W, E, R. So W for move, E for rotation, R for scaling. Now, if I want to rotate it, I will just make sure I'm on the axis I want to rotate it in. Is either I rotate it from here or I rotate it using this. This is going to rotate it in the Z axis. If I want to rotate it in the Y axis, and I can also do so from here. Okay. So that is so now I can now that I've brought it in, I can now move it into position and all what's not. And then if I want to rotate it, I can rotate it this way or that way to match. I already gave you the plan of how the things are in this scene. You can just place it that way. I didn't talk about the flower pot, because when I come over here, you're going to see that there are flower pots here. Okay, you can get any flower pot. If I go inside here, and I search plants, you're going to see a lot of plants with the shape of that, pot that we're looking for, and looking like the plant that we're using. So you can get anyone. You can see this one already is looking like it. Okay, as you can see. So you can get anyone you want, but I'll put the link to the one I'm using in the description. Okay, I already did. I don't think I can find it right now, but well, I will be sure to put it in the description so that I can be able to use it if that is exactly what you want to use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, first of all, place the camera. We're going to put light after we have placed the camera and we have positioned our assets. So I'm going to put it in, be in wireframe mode, and then I'm going to come over here to camera and then see Corona out here. Okay, I'm just going to be here and just draw the camera this way. Okay, now I like to work with 2 viewports. One for my work, the other one is where I set my camera. So I want to bring out the viewports. So I'm just going to come over here and then select it. But if you don't have this, there's another way you could have done it. You just come here. Okay, you see where my cursor is down there. Right click. You go over to the layout. This is where we are. Select this and then say okay. Now I'm going to come over here because this is the part where I like putting my camera, and I'm going to hit C. When you hit C on your keyboard while hovering in a viewport, it is going to put you in the camera scene of that viewport. But if you have more than one camera, it's going to bring out a list for you. Unless you have the camera selected, it's going to bring out a list for you, and then in that list you will select the camera view that you want. But if you don't know the name of the camera, because sometimes you create a lot of cameras, you don't know which one is camera 2, one is camera 2, just go over to where the camera that you want is, select it, go to the viewport where you want to put the camera in, be hovering around that viewport, and then you hit C on the keyboard. It is just going to put you in that camera. So let's just move on. So I want to be seeing what I'm doing. Right now I'm seeing wires everywhere. I want to be seeing clay. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit F3 on my keyboard and then select clay. Okay. Now I'm not seeing the edges. F4 will give you the edge, or you can just, you see edged faces in there. You can select it if that is what you prefer to do. So I'm just going to raise this thing up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the render setup. Okay, and then I'm going to, in the common, I'm going to set the output size. I want the aspect ratio to be a vertical one. As you can see, what we are having here is a vertical aspect ratio. Now, when you get the screenshot, if you want to get this exact aspect ratio, you can just go to the image details. As you can see, you're going to see this. This can serve as your dimensions or aspect ratio. So if that is exactly what you want, you can go for it. So let's just do that for the purpose of what we are doing. Let's just do that. So we have 602 by 1072. So I'm just going to open the 3ds mask, come inside here in the width. I'm going to type in 602, and then no, it's not going to work. In the custom is where we need to be. So I'm going to type in 602 over here, and then in this place I'm going to type 1072. That is going to establish the aspect ratio for us. And then I'm going to close this. Okay. Now we're not seeing the aspect ratio that we just created. Okay. How do we do that? How do we solve this problem? To solve this problem, just hit Shift F on the keyboard, and then we are in. We are locked in. Okay. So yeah. I just realized, me looking at this window, that my millions are very tiny. Okay. That's not the end of the world. We can still do something to remedy this. Let me see how it's looking over here. It is way fatter than what we are having there. So I'm going to make an adjustment to it, which is why I applied edit poly modifier instead of converting this thing to editable poly. Okay. So I'm just going to come over here in the sweep and then type in 100 here. Okay. That appears to be very big. 75. All right. That's good. Now over here, we can't leave that to be. We're just going to make that one, this one, 50. Okay. I think that's not bad now. So I'm just going to select this and I'm going to move it in. So I'm just going to go ahead and work on my camera. I'm going to select the camera and then come over here to the modify tab. To modify the camera, I'm going to put this in 50 or thereabouts. I'm going to select the camera targets and I'm going to raise it up. Now, when I do that, you find out that the vertical lines of this scene get skewed. Yeah, there's a way we can solve it. All right, there's a way we can solve it. I'm going to just come over here and in the tilt and shift, I'm going to select automatic vertical tilt. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and work on this camera just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move it down. Some more. All right, the same goes for this one too. All right, so I am going to go ahead and just copy the models I've already placed in this scene. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it over there. I've already shown you how to create models, how to bring in models. So I'm just going to copy these ones, and then I'm going to be doing that using Copitor. Copitor is a tool, is a script that you can get in script spot. Okay, so we go over to script spot, you're going to get it. There's a video I've done where I showed you how to use and install scripts, and I'm going to put that the video in the description, as well as above here. Now you're going to see it, and you can just click on it later when you're done watching this video to find out how to install Copitor. Okay, or you can just, like if you don't have this scene already done, you can just drag in the files that you want into and merge it in and then position them. So I'll just copy this and then I'll bring it into the scene. All right, so I've successfully copied it into the scene. But I think, hold on a minute. I need to take this camera back a little bit. But instead of just taking the camera back, let me just come over here and, yes. Okay. All right. So we are done placing the furnitures for now. Like I said, all these furnitures, I'm going to put the link in the description so that you can easily get them. Okay, now it is time for us to set up the light and then set up materials. Okay, first thing first, let's get our render settings out. Now we need to go over to the scene. Now when you get there, I want to put it in the single map. Okay, let me clear this. All right. So when you come over here, it's going to be here. So put it in single maps. Let's go ahead and do this. So this is the HDR that we're going to be using. You can use 2K because what we are doing is interior. We need just mostly what we need is the light sources is what we need. So I'm just gonna download it, but I've downloaded it before, so I don't need to download it again. So download it. You can increase the definition from here, but 2K is okay for interior, or you can just make it 4K if you don't mind the size, which I don't think is an issue. It's just 25 MB. So I'm just gonna go and get mine. So I'll go to none, click on that none. All right. Now I select Corona bitmap. If you're not seeing your Corona in here, please ensure that you set your renderer to Corona. If not, you're not going to see anything. Like, let's just say I put it in art renderer. I don't even know. Like, if I put it in art renderer, the thing is not going to even be. Let's say it's in. Let's just leave it in Corona. If Corona is not what you have, you're not going to see this thing in there. So make it Corona, and then let's go back to what we're doing. Click on none. Select Corona bitmap and then hit OK. Now I'm going to go over to downloads and I'm going to select, I think this is it. No, this is the clear sky. I want the overcast version. Yes, this one. And you see it's 2K. I'll just say open. Say OK. And there we have it. It's in there. All right. So we can start doing our interactive rendering. Come over to performance, ensure that this, I don't like this, but if you like, you can leave it on. That stuff is off. Okay? Clear VFB between renders, turn it off too. And then bring out the frame buffer for interactive rendering. Now, before we start doing anything, I'd like to restrict my rendering, interactive rendering, productive rendering to this particular viewport. So click on it, come over here, and then lock it. Okay, that has locked it in place. Now I'm going to start interactive rendering. Okay, sorry. These other places are just wall openings. There's nothing, there's no window there. So that's why we are seeing something in there. Okay, so we're going to work on this light in a bit, but for now, this is what we are having. Okay, I'm going to at least, I know it's not time for us to be doing materials yet, but I'm going to do the material for that window so that light will be passing through it, so that we'll know what we are doing here. Now I'm going to come over here, put it in default shading mode. I'm going to open the material library of Corona, the one that comes with Corona. And I'm going to apply glass material to it, clear glass material to it. Okay. Assign to selected object. Now, when I do that, you can see what we're having. Now that we have inserted our HDRI, before we add any other light in this scene to try and get what we are seeing over here. Okay. What we are seeing over here, you can see the way this scene is lit. Okay. We need to actually do a little bit of tone mapping. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to increase this lighting a little bit. Okay, For the contrast, I'm going to make it 4. For now, let's leave it at 4. Saturation, like we always do, take it down to like minus 0.06 or 0.064. I'm going to add highlight compression. For interiors, I take it to 55. Okay. And then I'm going to add filmic mapping and then LUT. Okay. So I'm going to, if this is the vibe you're going for, it's fine, but that is not the vibe. Don't forget, this is what we want to achieve. It is not like this. So I'm going to make this 0.3. Okay. Have that still. Okay, I'll just leave it at 0.4 then. Then for this, I'm going to just increase this a little bit. See the impact of what we just, you can see what it's doing for us in the scene. That's not bad at all. I'll just leave it like that. So now, obviously, we need more light in this scene to be able to get it up to speed. Okay, I can keep increasing this thing, but that is really going to bring in some noise and make but this method, the additional light method I'm going to show you now, is going to get the job done and done pretty easily. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, and then come over here in the light, select Corona light, or you can just come here, select, still the same thing. It's going to say bring it to the Corona light. Now I need to see the extent of this window, which is why I'm going to hit F4 on my keyboard. You can see the extent. So I'm just going to draw it like so. Oh no, I want to select a rectangle light. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, select a rectangle light, and then go ahead and draw that one like so. Now I'm going to move it into position. Okay, now there are some settings we need to do to this light, then copy it around. It's in 50. I don't want it to be this loud, but before that, let's remove every single thing from these lights. The visibility, direct, all these things, uncheck them. All right, now when we have done that, I can now come over here and reduce this into like 10. You can start wherever you want with whatever number you want. Okay, make it 10. And then I'm going to duplicate it again to this side. So I'm going to duplicate it as an instance. Then I'm going to do the same thing from this side again. Now I want to rotate an object. Okay, I told you we're going to talk about other snaps here. I want to rotate this object, but it is difficult for me to get it. I want to rotate it by 90. What I can do is come over here. It's already at 90, so if I put 180 or 0, it is going to, but I need to be in 0 so it will face the room and it will rotate it. Or what I can do is turn on angle snap toggle. So when I turn it on, it is going to be snapping incrementally to the angle that I've already set it to. If you want to set this thing, you can right click on it. You're going to see angles. Okay, here you can set the angle. It's already set to 55 degrees. You can set it to whatever angle that you want. Okay, so when you do it that way, you can now move this into position. All right, yeah. Now I still have two windows that we still need to pass light through. Okay, I'm going to pass light from that side, but this time around I want it to be a copy because I want that particular light to be less intensive. I want the intensity to be a little bit lower, so I'm going to put it in this place and I'm going to make this intensity 5. Okay, that same light I will drag it to this place as a copy as well. Now I'm going to make it 10. All right, now I can see that we are having a pretty bright scene. Okay, now when we start applying materials, it is going to help tone some things down, but for now we're going to leave it like this, and I can tell you that lighting is done. Now it's time for us to do materials. And the first material we are going to start with is the floor. So I'm going to select this floor, and I'm going to be using the default materials, the material library that you find in Corona, the Corona material library, and I'm going to go down to the flooring. Go up to flooring, and then we're going to be using this flooring standard oak. So, but then we're not going to just use it, because if I apply it there, you find out that it is not the same color as one we have in that scene. When I open it, you find out that what we have here is warm. Okay, what we have here is warm, but this is not that warm. Okay, first of all, let me apply UVW map to this and get the floor to be showing. You can see that it's not as warm as the one we have in this image. We need something this color. It's not the same color, so we need to edit this color to look like this. And to do it, we need to get this material inside the material editor. Okay, so it's already selected. All I have to do is get from selected. Okay, now that I've gotten this material into this material editor, I need to now start editing it, and then I need to be seeing what I'm doing when I'm doing that. So how do I even start editing it? To change color of material, like I've said in previous videos, I will say it again, to change color of materials, the one I find it to be the best color correction to use is the Corona color correction. When you use Corona color correction to change color, it changes, it stays changed. Okay, so that is what I'm going to use. This Corona, you can see it here under the maps, Corona. You're going to see Corona, or you can just search for it. It's up here, you can just search for it, but look at it here. I'm just going to drag it in between this place. Okay, so I'm going to make some adjustment to this. All right, now the issue is, if you're a beginner, you wouldn't know what adjustment to make, where to even begin, and how to start. I'm going to show you where to start and how to start right now, because it is an issue that I'm having now. Because looking at this thing, I don't know what slider to pull, what color to make this thing to get the same color that we're having here. So how do we get this color? How do we start getting this color right? Okay, I'm just going to show you the trick I normally use. All I do is I will just drag this image into this viewport, into the what is it called again, the material editor. Can even make it big like so. Now you can see the floor in there. So with this color correction, now I'll just select the tint, select this picker button. You can see immediately I clicked on it, you see that at least it's getting close. It is a little bit close. All right, so I'm going to just say okay. When I say okay, I can now come and use the gamma to try and get the color to be a bit lighter, so that it will match what we already have going on for us in this image. Okay, as you can see, it is close, sort of, and we didn't even have to stress ourselves too much. Now I might still have to make it lighter a little bit using this gamma. Okay, let me see again. As you can see, it's not that far apart again. Just reduce this thing a little bit more. Just reduce it. Okay, yeah. You can now from here decide, okay, I want to like make a little bit of an adjustment in here. Okay, to get things looking a little bit more like this, because I can see it. All right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, reduce the brightness a little bit too. So when I open this image again and I bring it side by side, you can see some similarities between the floor and this floor and this floor. Okay, so yeah. Now the next thing I want us to work on now is you guess it right, the wall. Or we can work on the material of this, because I actually did this material myself. Like I said, I modeled this table myself. I could have downloaded it, but I'm like, this table is actually very simple for me to model. I don't have to spend $7 to get it. So I just modeled it. And it's very simple to model. Like I said, see, this is the top part, and that, and that, and that. So I'm just going to like reapply materials to these things so that we can just, you know, I will select this and delete it. It's part of the materials though, but yeah, I'll delete it. So we can just apply material on it. I'll get a default material, default Corona legacy material. You know, if you create your own, you will need this. So that's why I'm doing this for you, because I know you created it yourself. So I'm going to, but if you did not, you can skip this video to where I'm doing something that, yeah. And like I said, you can always get this file, my finished product file, in the description. So do well to check that out too. Okay, that's a good avenue to support the channel as well. All right, so yeah, so I'm going to reduce this to, let me just put 40 in there. When you do that, every other thing is going to be 40, 40, 40. All right, and I'm going to apply this material to the table. I'm going to rename this to table material. And I'm going to apply it to that table. Select these ones as well, the balls, and then still apply it to that as well. Now you're going to see how simple and easy it is to create this material right now. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to bring in this map. Okay, I'm going to bring in this map and I'm going to attach this map to the what? Reflective gloss. Now when I do that, it is going to make the material not to be glossy at all. And the way to solve this is come down here in the maps, in this glossiness, and then reduce it. Now I'm going to make it like 60. So to add this, you know, shininess to it. Now that I've done that, it is time for us to start interactive rendering and see what we have going on. Now the way this map, in fact, let me even make it 100% right now so that we'll be seeing the map very, very well. In fact, I will apply it to the diffuse so that I'll be seeing the map very, very well. Now you can see the way this map is appearing here in the sphere. You can also see the way it is appearing here. Okay, so now we need to do something. We need to map this thing very well. Okay, so that it will look nice. Now for the top part of the table, I'm going to apply UVW map 2. Let me use pan zoom to zoom into this. I'll just click here, 2D pan zoom mode. I'll zoom into this table so that I can have a better view at what we are doing. All right, so I'm going to put it into inbox. I know it's a cylinder, but box is not bad. So if you want, you can put it as a cylinder and then cap the top. That is still going to give you a nice result, as you can see. Okay. So I'm going to make this like 5,000 so that I have a good edge over there. All right. Let me take a more. You can see that things are going on smoothly over there. So this place, I'm going to make it like 3,000, 2,000, 800. Okay. 900. Not bad at all. So for here, I can choose to do something because this thing is, to be honest with you, is not looking bad at all. You can see the way the map is mapping, which is not bad at all. So I'm just going to remove this thing from on top of there. So we can have our material materializing like that. Okay, so if I want to add further details, I can just take this thing and put it in the bump. When I put it there, you're going to see some details coming out in the leg of this and on this table. Now that is much, because this is a highly, polished and, sandpapered wood. So it's not supposed to be showing like this. So I'm just going to come over here and make it like 0.5 and see what we have. Okay. Yes. Now that's more like it. Even though it still has some grains that is still looking dangerous. So I'm going to make it like 0.2. Now you can see the lines, you can see the creases, but it's not that much again. So yeah, that is that for the materials for the wood. Okay, if you got this material like me now, when I got this material, it is not exactly black. I had to make it black, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to make it black. So I'm going to get material from selected. You see this, the color of this was originally brown. Let me just plug it back the way I saw them, so that you see this is the original color of this material, but I changed it to be black, and I did it by just using the color correction. Now the color corrections color correction I use for this is not corona color correction. Now when it is time for you to change something from its color to just black, okay, I personally prefer to use the general color correction. Okay, this one over here, you can see color correction here. This is the one I prefer to use. And what I did was, let me just remove this one for a bit. Let's do it again. All I did to get that was just select it. When you select it, you come over here, you put it in monochrome. That's number one. That will put you in the corridor of black and white. You don't even need to do much. But now it is not black enough, as you can see. I don't like the way it's looking. So I just selected here, put this in advance, and then come over here, make it 0.5. When I did that, it made the stuff darker. You can see it made the wood darker. Okay, let me confirm that's what I did there, because you can see monochrome. Nothing. I didn't even have to touch the saturation. Just reduce it, bring it down to, okay, and that is it for that. Now, okay, actually, there's something else I need to do. Yeah, there's something else I need to do. I need to add the baseboard. Let me stop this and exit from this. I need to add the baseboard, that's the wall skirting for this wall. And from what we can see here, what they have there is it's not just a regular tile wall skirting. They added something and they made it like, the same color as the wall, you get. So that's what we're going to do. So to do that, I'm going to be using this sweep profile script. I will still make all these links, this link to this script, I'm going to put it in the description. So do well to check it out. I'm going to put it in the description so you can download it and install it. If you don't know how to install script, I've already done a video where I explain very in detail how to install script in 3ds Max. I'm also going to put that video in the description, and I'm also going to put it up here in the YouTube card. So you just tap on it after watching this video, obviously, to take you to where you need to be. All right, so let's go ahead and create it using that tool. It's very simple. So all you have to do is come over here and draw a line. The way sweep works is the way it works, but then it comes with already existing, okay, profiles that you can just add, and it will add. So just draw it like that with the line still selected. I'm going to open this and I'm going to select one. Okay, I want activity, so I'm going to select this one. So once I click on it to select it, you see it has already added it for us. All right, I'm going to put this in wireframe mode to understand what's going on here. Okay, it's actually facing the right direction. So I'm just going to raise it up and put it in position. I know I could have used these settings in here for it to set where I want it to sweep parameter to set where I want it. But let me just, let me put it in the right place. Okay, let me just put it in the right place so it's easier that way. Okay. Yeah. Now we've added it. Let's go ahead and do interactive rendering to see our newly added floor base. Okay, it's already looking good. Like this white wall, everything here is already looking good, but that's not what we're going for. We're going to create the last material, which is the most interesting material that we're going to create here. Now there are details I need you to, see in this video, in this picture. Okay, you find out that this wall is not entirely uniformly colored. You have the deeper part, you have this part, and then you have this part. Okay, I'm going to be showing you how to create materials like this, that you're going to create a composite material that is going to have 2-in-1 materials at once, that when you apply it to the wall, you have places that has lighter material and places that has that will have darker material. So I'm just going to close this, minimize this for now, and then open this. And to create this thing, all I need is a normal legacy map with normal settings like I normally do. Okay, I'm going to take that to 1 and then make this one like 0.5. When I do that, what I need a composite material. Okay, a color map. Let me get a color, Corona color in here, and then a color correction, normal general color correction. Okay, so I'm just going to plug this one to this one while I plug this to this. Now I'm going to create an additional slot for this, which is where I'm going to plug this one too. And then I need to get a mask, because let me explain to you how this works. So I'm going to create the first material, the darker one, which is why I'm going to come over here and pick. Because how do you find out the color of this? You can actually browse what is the RGB code for beige, but you have the image here. So the best way for me is just to pick it from this image. That is if you want to create exactly what they have here. Pick it from this image. So I'll pick the darkest part of this image, and then I'll apply this thing. But let me just apply it straight for now and see how it's looking. So I'll select this. Okay, I'll select this and I will apply it. Okay, let me do interactive render to see what's going on. All right, now as you can see, this is what I'm having. You can see that it's close. Okay, it's close, but I want mine to be a bit darker so that when I add the other whiter part, it is going to, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. I will just do what I need to do. If at the end of the day it is not looking the way I want it to look, then we can now start making those changes to get some things to be darker and the other one to be lighter, to have the distinctions between these two. But as you can see, it is not far apart. The distance, you can see this color, you can see this color. They are almost like coming together now to look like actual stuff. The same actual stuff. All right, let me go ahead and explain this composite material stuff that I'm doing here. Now you can see I just applied this thing straight, but when I pass it through this thing, it is not just going to now apply only this material. It is going to apply, okay, it is going to apply these materials combined. And what is going to make it know where to apply this one and where to apply this one is what you put in the mask. Okay, I can put a mask that will mask off this black that you're seeing here, because now we are seeing only black. Okay, a mask that will mask off this black. And the way mask works is that wherever you have white, let me just show you. I'm just gonna go ahead and get Corona color. Hold on, let me just get Corona color. You can see that this Corona color is white, it's entirely white. So if I apply it inside this place, it is going to show this one. But let's say that this is black. It will now start showing the other one that is behind. If I put it in the middle, it is going to show both of them combined. Now, if we get a map that has some whites, let me just show you the map that we're going to be using. This map, okay, it has black, it has white, it has gray, it has all those things. That will like make some parts, because where we have white is where we have this thing showing, the lighter part of this thing to show. So if we add this map inside that place, we have some of these things showing and some of the ones behind also showing. So which is why we're going to be using this map to do this thing. Let me remove this Corona color. It has done its work for explaining things. So I'm just going to drag this thing into this place, and then I'm going to apply it underneath. Now, when I do that, you see that it is not coming out the way we want, because we have not actually done anything. It's black that is showing here now. So we need to pass this color inside the color correction and then get a lighter version of this color. And how do we get a lighter version of the color? By just coming over here and adjusting the gamma. Okay, if I make this gamma 2 now, you're going to see a huge difference. But now we are not understanding what we are seeing here, because it has not been properly mapped. Okay, it has not been. If I map it correctly, it is going to show very well, no problem. So I'm just going to select this thing, because to map this thing correctly, I need to be seeing it in here. So I will select this particular map in this place and then click on this. You can see the way it's looking. So when I do that, I'll come over here and then select UVW map, put it in box. Immediately I do that, you will see different shades of this material coming out. Now we need to map it. We need to do a better job at mapping this thing. So I'm just going to, okay, I'm going to increase the height a little bit, and I'm going to select the gizmo. Let me just keep this thing on this side so it can work better. If I stop this thing and position it first, then I will start interactive render to see what we've got. Okay. So yeah, I'll keep it like this, and then let's see what's going on. So let me take a look at where. All right. So, but as you can see, the yellow is not yellow enough. So I need to just adjust this yellow to get what I'm looking for. Okay, so for this place, I will just take it up some more. Don't worry about that. We're going to adjust it. Okay, for the red, I will take it up some more. That's for sure, because now it's becoming like this warm orange that I don't even understand. Then for the blue, we need to take it towards this side a little bit. Okay. I think this is way better than what we had before. All right, so let me see. Yeah, not bad at all. All right, so you can notice something, that the light that is shining here is looking warm, and that is simply because of the room that we are in. Okay, the room we are inside is yellow and it's affecting the way this thing is looking. Okay, let me just say okay to this. I think is I think this make it a little bit brighter. If I should make it 5, you can see how the thing became pure white, and that is not the case over here. Okay, it shouldn't be this pure white, so I'm going to like leave it at 2. That will make it better. Okay, so let me address the issue of having this colored light shining on this spot. I want it to be a clear white light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this geometry. Okay, and I'm going to hit 4. Sorry, select it, select polygons. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that one out. Now I'm going to apply a normal material to it, a material that is of course reflective. Okay, material, I'll apply that material to those ones. 0.5. So yeah, let's see what we're going to have when I do this. So I'll bring up the frame buffer and do interactive rendering. Okay, so you can see that the light here is no longer that yellowish. Okay, you can see over here we are having the wall coming out and this one. So we can now still open this material editor to make the yellow yellower. Okay, can increase the contrast from here, and then we can have the distinction that we're looking for. So I can just select this. Let me take a look at that image again. Okay, so something like this. All right, I can just select this right here and come down here and reduce this by making it like 1/8, so it's not that much pronounced, but when you look at it you know that it's there. All right, and then let me can use the UVW map to make things bigger than they already are. So let me leave it at 2. I want it to be pronounced for the purpose of what we are doing. So this wall is not done. I need it to have some texture. Okay, which is where this comes in, the normal map coming. So I'm going to just drag it into this place, close this. Now you don't just plug a normal map to the bump, because the bump is where we need to put this thing. Okay, you need to put it through a Corona normal map. Sorry, place it in the normal instead. Double click this and then add gamma to input. Add gamma to just check on this button, that's all, and then you plug it to the bump. Now when I do that, I don't want to use the UVW map again to readjust this thing, as it's going to scatter what we already have going on here. Okay, there's another way we can scale things, and it is through the tiling. Now before I proceed, I want to just make this the image that we see in the viewport. So I'll select this, but let me stop this interactive rendering. But then if that doesn't work, I can just take this and plug it in front of here as the diffuse. Turn off this. I can't turn that off for you. So, but that should work. But you said, let me just show you what I wanted to do, because it's not working in there. So I'm going to show you the principle of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to go ahead and then show you another way, because now it's not working here, but so you cannot see what I'm about to show you. So I'm just going to show you the principle, then show you another way I do it when things, because things like this actually happen in 3ds Max from time to time. So I'm going to like create a box, standard primitive, create a box just like that, and I'm going to apply this material to it. Hopefully it works this time. Okay, on this box. Now I'm going to select this and use it as a display. It's not working. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to create a new stuff like this, and then select these two things, apply it to the bump, and I'm going to apply it to this. Now when I do this, I will now say, okay, I want this thing to be exactly. Now when I do it, you see this bump showing, this bump map showing here. As you can see, this is the bump map. Now, instead of using UVW map, I can actually come here and say, okay, I want this styling to be smaller, and then I'll put bigger number in here. When you put bigger number here, it is going to make it smaller. Now I have to zoom in some more to be able to see it. If I make this thing 3.5, you notice it gets smaller. 3.5, it also gets smaller. So that is the same thing I'm going to use. Now, when I do this, it's not going to affect the UVW mapping that we have already used to map this particular mask. You can see layer mask to be able to show these two materials, these two colors at the same time on this wall. Okay, so that's what I'm just going to do. All right, so let me just start interactive render, because that's the only way I'm going to see it now. So now the interactive render has started. Now I'm going to get really close to this by using pan zoom. I'm going to come very close to it, like so. You can see that it's very big. So I'll just start from 3. Look, seeing how big it is. I wonder what I'm tiling. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, that's it. You can see that it's gotten smaller, like a normal size of a wall material. So I'm just going to make sure it's 3.5 actually, just like the other one that we did in that stuff. So I'm going to increase I'm just going to add a little bit of bump to this, so as to ensure that the wall is looking as rough as we want it to be, and we'll add it in this place. So I'll just come down here to the bump, just make it 3. Okay, you can see it is now showing as it should. So if I come out of there now, exit pan zoom, when you take a look at that wall, you're going to see some roughness going on there. Now we are done modeling. Okay, that same material is what we are going to apply on this. So I'll just apply it like so. I will just select, or we can choose to leave our own. Can you see that white is not entirely bad? So we can just leave our own as white, or you can apply the material on it if you want. So I'm going to leave mine as white. So as you can see, oh, we forgot this window mullion. Let me just quickly apply material to it. So I'm just going to bring out this, take it down to this place, make it 1, because at the end of the day I just want something a little bit, yeah, reflective. So we have our scene. So I'm going to turn on this, reduce this, this one as well. I like to make everything here 0.7. Then then here I'm going to make this 3 and this 1. Now this edge is looking very straight. I don't like that. I want to make it look, you know, I want to make it look like a real stuff. And to do that, I'm going to be needing chamfer. So I'm going to apply this chamfer to it. When I did that, you notice something. The chamfer, instead of applying to only the edges, is applying to, let me just turn it off. You see what's happening. So to be able to fix this chamfering issue that we are having now, just come down here and then tell it to just keep it on the chamfers only. Smooth your chamfers. Don't smooth the entire object for us. So that's when you do that, it is going to solve that issue. Now for the chamfer, I want to add the amount, make the amount to be 3. In fact, let me be seeing what I'm doing. Or 5, 10. The segments, increase it to 3. I hope no issue over here. Oh, we're having issues already. Yeah, that has solved it. 5 is not bad at all. 5 is not bad at all. So for the segment, I'm going to make it 5 as well. So when I open my, you see that the edges are not looking so. Yeah, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so I have smooth edges as well in there. Okay, yeah. So just increase the brightness a little bit more. Okay, so for now, I think we are done with the materials. If there's something else that we're missing, we're going to attend to that later on. But for now, let's go and set up our render so we can go ahead and render this image out and then get on with our lives. So in the common, I'm going to increase this thing to like 3000. And then in the scene, I will just come down here to the denoiser and set it to Corona high quality. Always put your denoiser, set your denoisers to Corona high quality when you want to do your final production render. Okay, that's the best as far as I'm concerned. So when I do that now, I can now go ahead and save this file. Bring out the frame buffer and hit render. And the render is just going to start just like that. All right, so I'm going to just cut this video. When the render is done, we're going to come back here and I'm going to show you what to do and how to save out your renders so that you can post it on social media and every other places, or give to your client if you're actually here to learn how to use it in a particular project. All right, see you when the render is done. All right, let me shift this thing a little bit. Okay. All right, welcome back. The render is finally done. Usually what I do is anything less than, like once it enters 5%, once it gets to 5%, 5 point whatever is okay. But now I decided to wait for it to go below 5%. So you look at your noise level over here, okay? 4%, 5% is okay by me, okay? And then when you now stop the render, the denoiser will do the rest for you. So I'm just going to click. How you do it is you click it once. When you click it once, it's going to stop rendering, and then you see it's denoising now. You can see denoising. It is going to start denoising the file for you, and you have to come over here and make sure that it is checked on. Okay, that was part of the settings we did before we started rendering. We went to the scene and then we set our denoiser to Corona high quality. So that is what is working for us now, denoising the scene, getting rid of the noises that we don't have the patience to sit around and wait for. Okay, let me just turn on this, the bloom and glare. Okay, so it's loading now. When it's done loading, it is going to come out. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how we are going to save. All right, so the denoising is done. Like I said, ensure that your denoiser is checked on over here because sometimes it might be off. Now, when I zoom into this place, you're going to see the details that we are having in this place. Okay, very beautiful. Very nice. And also very demure. It's not too shouty. It's not too much. Okay. So now let's go ahead and save this file out. If you want to save, you're going to see this save icon on top of here. That is where the save button is. So you click on it and then you select where you want to save it. All right. I'm going to call this the interview. Okay. And I'm going to save it as PNG. And then I'm going to, you can leave it in automatic. Okay. That's, you can see recommended and then hit save. It is still going to come out well. But what I normally like to do is put it in override. It's like an old habit now. And set it to 2.2 and then hit save. Okay. And it's going to save out for us. All right. So that's how I was able to take an image that I got from an interview that I got scrolling on the internet, that's Instagram, and how you can be able to do such a thing when given a mood image. You just take that image, you take it to Google, and with the help of Google Lens, you scan the image to find the name of the objects there, and then see the company that's making them. With that, you can go to your 3D, vendors where they sell 3D models. You can go to 3D Sky, you can go to Dimensiva, you can go to Turbo Squid, different places you can get these models from. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like, and if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Not only subscribing, like I said before, ring the notification bell so you get notified. There are some videos, like I said in this video, that I need to make videos like snap, toggles, all of them, and how they work. Other important videos that will enable you to follow along more when I do more content like this long form content. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.